All right, we're good to go.
Okay, calling the meeting to order. Right now we have Trustee Orozco and Alcala absent. We'll see if either one of us is able to join us later. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54953, as amended by Assembly Bill 361, due to the state of emergency declared by the Governor on March 4th, 2020, members of the Reclamation District 900 Board of Trustees and staff will participate in the meeting via teleconference to reduce the spread of COVID-19. Members of the public may watch the meeting by a live stream on the RD900 website, and those members of the public who wish to do so are invited to participate in the meeting via Zoom or using the information on the website to join the meeting. We will start with General Administration Part 1, presentations by the public on matters not on the agenda within the jurisdiction of the district, and the agency is prohibited by law from discussing issues not on the agenda brought to them at this time. Are there any individuals wishing to speak at this time, Mr. General Manager?
There is no one wanting to speak right now.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll be appointing a Reclamation District 900 trustee and an alternate for the West Sacramento Area Flood Control Area Board. We'll start with the with the trustee first, and I'll take a recommendation to appoint a trustee. I can't hear your sound. Dante, muted. Ooh. I still can't hear you. Hold on. She's going to call it. She's gonna call it. I think she has the telephone number. We'll wait. We need to make sure she can fully participate.
Yeah, definitely.
What about now? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, it works.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I just had a clarifying question. I just wanted to make sure this is for West Safeco.
Yes, this is for West
Okay,
Safeco. Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Norma
So then-
sits on the West Safeco board for the city of West Sacramento. Chris Ledesma was the RD 900 representative for RD 900 for West Safeco. And so since Chris is no longer on the board, that leaves one of the four of you to volunteer.
Yep. Perfect. I make a motion for Trustee Berna Sapizio Hull.
Oh,
It's trustee, right?
Yes, trustee.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
And I second that. And Mr. General Manager, can you please call the roll?
Sure. Trustee Early,
Aye.
Trustee Sulpizia Hull,
Aye.
President Guerrero.
Aye. All right. This motion
Sure.
is approved. And next is an alternate. And I'd like to recommend Trustee Early to be the alternate.
I happily second.
All right. And Mr. General Manager, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Sulpizia Hull,
Aye.
Trustee Early,
Aye.
President Guerrero.
Aye. Thank you. Next is item 1C, appointing a Reclamation District 900 Vice President. And I would like to recommend Trustee Early to be the Vice President.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Mr. General Manager, can you please call the roll?
Sure. Trustee Sulpizia Hull,
Aye.
Trustee Early,
Aye.
President Guerrero.
Aye. All right. This is approved. So we are all set in order.
Great.
Yes. Next is item 1D, monthly year-to-date revenue and expenses. And Mr. General Manager, will you be providing the report?
Yes. So for the month of October, our revenues were $173,000 coming from interest income and funding agreements and miscellaneous income. Our expenditures for the month were $118,000. So total expenditures for the year, which is July 1 through October, $473,447, where our total revenue right now is $3.6 million. So right now we're doing relatively well. at the beginning of the year, I'll go back through and look at our budgets and see where we are, compare what we have budgeted to what we've spent, and just make sure we're still on target.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions among the trustees regarding the report? Okay, and I don't think we need to adopt it or accept it. No,
No, just an update.
just an update. Thank you. Now, there are a number of items on the consent agenda. Are there any requests to pull an item for discussion on the consent agenda? And if not, we'll accept a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
I'll make
So
a move.
moved. I'm
John,
trying
think
to
you-
not step on your toes, Verna.
I'll second. I'm happy to second.
All right, thank you. Mr. General Manager, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Sulpicia Holt,
Aye.
Trustee Early.
Aye.
President Guerrero.
Aye. All right, this is approved. And next is regular agenda item part 3, our general manager updates. Mr. General Manager.
Sure. Sorry, taking notes. So let's see here. Part of the consent item was the FMAP, the Flood Maintenance Assistance Program money we received from the state for maintenance. This year, they added a new requirement, CEQA requirements resolution. I wasn't quite ready to include that in the package that will come next board meeting. So there's some things we need to do. I've talked with our engineer who filled out the documentation for us. It's all new, so everybody's sort of scratching their head as to what we need to do to submit to the state. So I figured I'm going to work with him to get it right and so on. So that'll come next month. As for levee maintenance, we continue to spray weeds when we can. Different time of the year, we have different chemicals for spraying to keep the weeds down. We patrolled 2 weekends ago when the big storm came through. So luckily we didn't have any issues. Only issues, vehicles can get up on the levee, the Southport levee, and they do a little damage, and we clean it up and so on. So just can't keep everybody out. We started to part of the Southport levee, the seepage berm. There's a concrete drainage structure along our seepage berm. It's the city's drainage structure. The minor erosion has occurred that puts dirt into this drainage structure, then into the storm drain system. And so right now we're working with a contractor to re-rock that access road to prevent dirt getting into the storm drain. So they actually started it today, and it's a real small job, but wanted to get that done before the big winter hits, and we're not out there shoveling dirt out of a concrete ditch all the time. So that's underway right now. Let's see, Blacker Canal is ongoing still. We're submitting permits for the state water quality items that should go in sometime this week. Our consultant has the documents out for review right now, and waiting for final comments from myself. I think our engineer got comments in, so that should be going in this week. Let's see, the roof for the office building has been delayed just due to bad weather. Early on, we were getting rain every 3 or 4 days, which don't want to pull the roof off when we're expecting rain. So we were hoping to start sometime this week. The weather's been clear, but of course the contractor is behind with previous roofing jobs. So hopefully we'll get it started this week. The rains that hit a couple weekends ago did more damage to the interior roof, and so it'll be nice to get that fixed and no more leaks. Let's see, the Southport levee crack project is complete. So the contractor, everything went well with him. Fortunately, the crack wasn't as significant as it could have been. So he had that completed within 3 or 4 days, and looks good. It is hydroseeded. We will put up some straw wattles to prevent any additional erosion through the winter time, since the grass will not grow until early spring next year.
Blake, just
Well,
a quick question on that. Is that the
yeah.
contractor that we went through the second interview with? Okay, so he's
Yes.
already done. All right,
Yeah,
awesome.
he's
And there were
done.
nothing.
No issues. We
Okay.
had our geotech out there testing compaction, and when they placed the rock back on the road for driving, it was light on compaction, didn't pass, and he came back and reworked it and it passed. So didn't no problems with him. So everything went great. Oh, let's see. Part of the consent item was a new tractor. It's a boom arm with a mower. That was not the tractor that burned up last summer. We're working with the process of purchasing that slope mower too. So I'll bring that to the board once we figure out the best purchase agreement on that. That one we may have to do a formal request for bids on that instead of going through these other state processes. So stay tuned on that one. So let's see. I mentioned this a couple of meetings ago. We had met with the DWR regarding RD 900 taking over maintenance area 4, which is call it the northeastern portion of the city. Have not been in contact with them since. We need to do a walkthrough and just see where they're at this point, but probably sometime early next year to mid-year, the district will be taking over the maintenance of that area from the state. That was all, Greg, you have to remind me, Senate Bill 901 that directed the district taking over the state's portion. So keep everybody apprised of that as it moves forward. With all of this flood training that we've gone through, the California Conservation Corps has a group that we can use to help with sandbags and different types of labor in the event we need significant resources for flood fighting. I've left a message with them. I've worked with them in the past. The difficult part is getting the initial contract up and running. Once that's in place, everything goes a lot smoother. So I'm waiting to hear back from them so we can set up a contract with them. Like I said, the original contract is just a contract agreement. After that, we get into the details when we need support from them. So just waiting to hear back from them to set up that contract. I'll jump to the Yolo County Environmental Health Department first, and then I'll invite Greg in to talk about Westsafe. Met with the environmental health inspector. They come out and check our pump stations every few years. I think it's every 3 years. So they checked one pump. Everything was in line. Because of change in general managers, things aren't in my name yet. So we're working on that process to get things moved over. So it's an electronic battle to get through. So we're working on that. But I think there's 3 pump stations coming up for inspection this next year. So, but everything's in tip-top clean shape. So though they're old, everything's in good shape, in order. It's more, do we have the necessary equipment to clean up if there's a spill, and are our tanks in good shape, and so on. Not necessarily directly the pumps, but spills of diesel or oil, and training of our staff, and everybody's up to speed on that. So with that, Greg, I'd like to invite you in for any updates with Westsafe.
Yeah, thanks, Blake. So really the only updates, we're preparing, the Corps is preparing for construction for the Yolo bypass East Levee south, which is just south of the of Biz 80 when it comes, or I-80 when it comes in. So that'll go to construction probably. I think they're targeting May for bids, June for an award. And so sometime in the June-July timeframe, we should be under construction over there. If the current appropriations passes this week, there's a small chance that we may be able to get in the Yolo bypass East Levee North segment, which is right behind the city's new courtyard. So but that'll be under a separate bid. and a separate contract, and it'll be slightly behind the other one. So, and if it doesn't go to construction this year, it'll go to construction in calendar year 24. And then, like I said about the appropriations, all eyes are on what's going on back in DC this week. The CR was passed last Friday through midnight this Friday. And so far, the intel out of DC is that folks are hopeful that they're going to get an omnibus passed by the end of the CR. And if that happens, then the Corps will have another $80 million for projects for West Sac, which includes completing design and moving towards construction of the Sac River North levee, which is all the way from the Barge Canal in the south, all the way up to the Sac bypass in the north, right up by the water plant. So that's about a 6-mile stretch that's under design right now. And that's pretty much all I got. Any questions?
No, that's great news. Thank you.
Okay.
Greg, I have one question. I just want to make sure I'm fully following this. So we have we are trying to update our levies, secure our levies, and potentially there's an additional 80 million that will come in. Is this a forever non-ending project, kind of like our roads, which will always need updating? Or is there a goal, meaning like 80 million out of 400 billion, or what's the total?
So here's a real quick flood 101. The Corps and WSAFCA did a study of our levee system, found that they need to be improved to bring them up to 200 level of flood protection. It's the entire levee system. And that project was authorized back in 2016. And the total price tag is $1.5 billion. So what we're doing now is every year we get federal appropriations to bite the elephant or eat the elephant one bite at a time.
Okay, I feel like we should have one of those thermometers where it's just like parts of it are turning red as we're trying to hit our goal. So this year potentially will be 80 million. Since 2016, how many millions have we been able to secure?
So that's been the tough part. So the Corps has received about $4 million in design funding through FY20, and then in FY21. Yep, they got $25 million in funding to go to and a construction new start. So now the Corps is going to construction. And then in FY22, which is what we're waiting on, I think. No, this is FY23. So roll it back. So through FY21, they had about 4 million. FY22, they got 25. And now we're waiting on FY23 for the 80. And we're hoping to get about $100 million a year from the Corps every federal fiscal year until the project's complete. Right now, the estimate is about 2032.
Okay, and that would get us to the 1.5 billion.
So the 1.5 billion is the total project cost. The Corps' cost is roughly 800 million.
Okay.
And then the balance is state and then WSAFCA. And so the Corps pays about 65% of the total federal project cost. The state pays about 25%, and we pay about 10%.
Okay.
So it's pretty good bang for the buck.
Yes, it's great. Once we get there. And so it sounds like out of the 800 million, we have gotten 29 million.
At 25,
did I at least get that right?
We'll have about 100 million if the bill gets passed this Friday. The Corps will have about 100 million, a little over 100 million.
Out of the 800 million.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for the 101. You know what? Slow and steady wins the race.
Yep.
I do feel like by the time we get to the 1.5 billion, it'll be time to go back to the parts you already fixed and start over.
Yeah.
But it's like our roads, right? You're just constantly investing. Thank you.
Definitely. Thanks, Greg. And I think the only thing I had to add next board meeting, West Safeco, is January 19th, 9 a.m. And then our RD 900 board meeting follows on the 19th at 6 p.m. I know we've internally discussed, once we come out of the teleconferencing and have to go live again, we'll really have to set a date. I know all the trustees here are on a variety of boards, and trying to time all of this is going to be difficult. So Greg and I'll talk about it and work and see what works the best. There was something that came out in the state that said something about allowing teleconferences, but I don't know. I haven't read the bill that allowed that, and I don't know if it means that we have to be live, but we can also do teleconferencing, or what it really means. At this
No.
point.
So, oh, well, Greg, are you going to explain it? I was going to say, we've heard it now enough to know, probably all of us,
No,
right?
you go ahead. You'll do better than me.
So I think there are a limited number of times now through the year that you can actually be teleconferencing in as an individual. It needs to be for a reason, health or something along those lines. And the rest of the time that you do need to be in person.
Got it.
Martha, you're again probably an expert on this too. Is that your understanding as well?
We'll need to be in person after March.
Okay.
So that's
Is it starting in March, or is it starting in February?
It's February. I don't know at what point in February, but I know it goes into effect either mid-February or something like that. But I've been told February.
Yeah, and I think prior to COVID, the RD 900 board met at City Hall, if I recall, on the opposite Wednesdays from the regular council night, opposite the Port Commission. And so we're looking at, and we'll continue the discussions, but I'll just sort of throw this out there for you guys to chew on a little bit, but we're looking at moving the WSAFCA meetings from Thursday mornings to just before the RD 900 board meeting. Since the WSAFCA board is a subset of the RD board, and the RD board is the city council, it may be a good way of having everybody sort of in one location at one night, and including RD council is also the WSAFCA council. So anyways, that's one of the options that we're looking at. I'm sure Blake will talk to you more about it.
Is there a reason why you wouldn't just keep the WSAFCA meeting at 9 a.m. and either do the RD 900 after that?
We could do that. I've kind of heard through the grapevine that Thursday mornings during working hours aren't the best time. If it does work out for the board and we can keep it that way, that's another alternative, is run them back to back on Thursday morning. But I'm sure Blake will be polling you guys for what works, and we'll try to be as accommodating as we can. You guys have a lot on your plate, so we'll work around your schedules.
Okay.
And Verna, welcome to the board.
Yes, Verna.
Thank you so much.
I wonder, Greg, if this is the only woman-led RD.
I bet it is.
I bet it is.
Be the first and only.
Yes, maybe. We should look into that.
And I have to say, I really like it.
Hilarious.
You do have to say that, but I still appreciate it.
It's a very pleasant board, so thank you very much.
We appreciate you, Blake and Greg. Both of you have done a great job. Thank you so much. And you know, Verna Gregg has done most of the advocacy on our levy protection funding. He's the intelligence behind all of this, you know, working with everybody in DC, and I just hang out, listen, learn. But it's been good to have a lot of these accomplishments in the last year. What we've achieved, it's been huge. So I think with the Army Corps who signed, it was a signature process with WSAFCA and the Army Corps to secure the track to fund our levy protection at the $1.5 billion mark, and it was a significant step to start our new start funding. So, yeah. Let me see, is there anything else for us on this item? Oh, and so you have your next meeting January 19th for Wasafka, and you already mentioned that, January 19th in the evening at 6, and I'll be possibly in DC at the time.
Okay.
And
also-
then-
go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna check. Bernard, are you able to do the January 19th meeting? It was January 19th, right?
That's
Yeah,
correct.
we've got January 19th. Yes, I have to move a few things around, but we'll make it work.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to be clear, the Wasafka meetings, at least at this point, on January 19th, there's a closed session phone call that occurs at 8:30 in the morning. And then the board meeting, it will be remote at 9 a.m. They usually last about a half hour, about as long as this one. And then the RD board's in the evening, just like around 6
Okay.
o'clock. Tonight.
And Verda, the only reason why I'm asking, I don't know if you're still on maternity leave, is because I'm your alternate. So for whatever reason, if you can't, I have to put it on my calendar. Otherwise, it won't happen.
I will let you know, it's the same time as the League of California Cities new council member academy. And so I'm just gonna juggle those two things, but this is a priority, so I'll be there.
Okay,
Great.
that opened up our trustee comments.
There you go.
Any other comments?
Well, Verna, I know you have a city email address now.
Do I have one? I have not gotten access to it. So
Oh,
Or at
God.
least it was
What
online.
is it, by the way, Blake? Is it?
It's Verna S at cityofwestsac.org.
it's working. Okay, that's good to know it's working. I've not seen any emails, but thank you for communicating with me.
That's how they posted it on the city council webpage on the.
Oh,
on the
good.
city.
Okay,
So,
great,
just to let you know.
And make sure you test it, Verna, because
Yes.
they put Norma A for a while and it was actually N Alcala. So test your email.
I will do
Yeah.
that.
I don't know how
I think mine was wrong too. I was listed on the city page wrong, I think originally as well.
What is yours, by the way, Dante? I forgot.
It's Dante E. So Dante E at
Okay.
cityofwestsacramento.org.
All right. Yeah, just check yours, Verna. Make sure
Okay.
you get email.
Well, and that you get access. I'm assuming
Yeah,
if you didn't.
I'm assuming it's coming. I know everybody knows I just had a baby. So
I know.
I'm inundating you with
So leaving you
everything.
alone.
Not just that, I think city.
Congratulations.
I
Can we
think
see the baby?
closed.
The baby's downstairs right now. I know it's about time to feed him. So I was like, I don't know if I can trust him on camera right now. But he will definitely be at a meeting very soon.
Okay.
Berna, I think the city office might be closed soon, right, Martha? So
Yeah, they do.
that might
They
be
do
why.
shut down. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be
That might be why
closed.
you haven't heard.
They'll be, well, I mean, closed for in-person. The doors will be locked. If you have a badge, you can get in. But they'll be closed between Christmas and then they reopen on January 3rd, Tuesday.
I don't think she's in a rush, but yeah, you'll figure it out.
I am not.
Email should work through that time.
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing. It might not be working, huh?
Yeah, that's right. All right, then. So I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And then I'll second.
All right, Mr. General Manager.
Trustee Sulpicio Holt,
Aye.
Trustee Early,
Aye.
President Guerrero.
Aye. All right, we are now adjourned. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy
Yeah,
holidays.
happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Good night.